If you ask the question, what makes a truck good, you're gonna get a lot of different answers from a lot of different people. Now, I myself have always been a big fan of trucks. I know this channel is mostly based around imported performance cars, but if I could name the best car I've ever had, it would probably be my old Dodge Ram. There's just something special about driving a truck that you don't get with a car. I'm Sodapop with the left pedal, and today I'm going to tell you why this beat up Chevy S10 is the best truck in the world. So let me start off with a little backstory on this truck. My dad and uncle bought this truck for their mom back in the 90s, before this was just an old truck. And since then, basically everyone in my family has driven it. I drove this truck when I was in high school. My little brother drove this truck when he was in high school. So yeah, I'm a little bit biased, but I think it's okay to be a little bit biased. Now, I've always liked trucks a lot, but I'm just not personally a fan of the big lifted F-150s and Silverados. And it's not because I hate the way they look or drive or anything. It's because I grew up in a little town called Ball Ground, Georgia. And I know firsthand that most of those guys who have their dads spend all that money on their truck for them never actually use them as a truck. And clearly a truck like that is a lot more powerful than my little S10. A truck like that has a lot more pulling capability than this little S10 here. Alright, the daddy paid for joke was a little uncalled for. And don't get me wrong, I get the lifted truck thing. It's not my style, but I get it. Those guys are doing to their trucks what I do to my cars. Made them pretty, made them look sexy. I got you. I'm just messing around. I'm a big fan of mini trucks. And it's not even just the Chevy. I mean, a Ford Ranger or Toyota Tacoma. Fantastic trucks. And they're all stupid reliable, except for Mitsubishi. I don't like Mitsubishi trucks. My mom drives a Mitsubishi, and you know, it's never even had any problems. I just hate it. I don't know why. You know, some cars you get in, you just hate. Off topic, Chevy S10. I do like how easy these are to work on. I really do. Rarely do have to work on it. There's a few persistent problems. The computer's a little weird on these. I mean, what you're buying with this truck is essentially just a throttle body injected 4.3 Vortec on some frame rails with a simple suspension and an open diff. This truck's not your truck for off-roading or towing. That's not what it's made for. This truck is made to carry your crap around to and from work or when you're moving or something. And it does that really well. It is loud. It has no muffler. It's a little obnoxious, but I don't know. I like loud cars. Most of y'all probably do too if you're watching car reviews on the internet in your free time. I like mechanically operated accessories more than electronic. I mean, I actually prefer roll down windows because they never break. The only thing that I know of that's wrong with this truck, that's broken, is the air conditioning. But you don't need air conditioning if you have opening back glass. Look at that. Look at that air moving through the vehicle. I mean, I would like to have air conditioning in the summer in Atlanta. It gets hot here. But other than that, I like this truck. Now, if you're actually using a truck for truck purposes and you're consistently pulling heavy loads, clearly you're gonna want a more powerful vehicle than this little S10. But realistically, that's not most truck owners. There's not much to go wrong. I mean, other than the standard stuff you're gonna have to replace in 200,000 miles of owning a vehicle, you don't really have to worry about something like this because it's so simple. Anyone could figure it out. I mean, I wouldn't call this truck a chick magnet because women hate it. It's loud and the paint's coming off. There's no muffler on it. It's dirty all the time. But who cares? It's not supposed to be. It's a truck. It's a man's best friend. I don't want to worry about if I get my truck too dirty, you know? I want to be able to do what I need to do with it, throw some in the back, and not worry about scratching the paint. Now, when I say I don't like having to worry about it, this truck has lasted so long because my pops took such good care of it. I'm not worried about the paint and the interior, but the mechanics of it have always been very well taken care of. And you know, you have to in an old vehicle. One of the main factors that I'm not gonna try to ignore is how cheap it is. I mean, you can buy one of these for what, $900? It's a cheap truck. I like cheap stuff. It's cheap and dependable. And, you know, being a Chevy engine, parts are cheap. If you can't work on it yourself, maintenance is cheap. Now, this is my dad's truck. My parents live on a gravel road. I don't think he cares anything about how pretty it looks. My dad's the kind of guy that's gonna use his truck to transport tools and prop his rifle's bipod up on the hood. He doesn't care about how pretty it looks. He doesn't care about impressing women with his truck. And so it's perfect for him. You know, I love trucks. Clearly I'm not a truck person. I like cars. I like fast cars. And I like driving this truck because it feels like a car. It feels like an old El Camino or something. Now granted, it doesn't have a big V8 in it, but I really don't care. It's not fast, but it's a quick little truck. And you can whip it around corners. You might have the back end fly out a little bit. You will have the back end fly out a little bit sometimes. I like that. Now, I know I'm getting all passionate about my opinions here, and don't get me wrong, I like big trucks. I've owned big trucks. But these days, you know, I don't like worrying about if my paint gets scratched up or if my interior gets messed up. I like being able to just go out and do whatever I want in a truck. You know, being a car guy, whenever I take my Datsun to Atlanta, I'm worried about bottoming out or someone stealing the wheels off of it. I don't have to worry about in this truck. Yeah, who's gonna steal that? I love this truck. Best truck in the world right there, and I'm serious.